Before we break down the motion for summary judgment by Bryan Freedman and his legal team representing Baldoni, let's summarize recent events leading up to this, okay? Back in June, Judge Louis Lyman, presiding, formally entered a final judgment ending Baldoni's $400 million defamation and extortion countersuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, their publicist, and the New York Times. Some media, like TMZ, reported in a tinged and, I'm sorry, irresponsible way that Baldoni missed a court-imposed deadline of October 17th to file an amended complaint, which they cast as a big win for Blake. Well, he didn't miss it. His lawyers blew it off. The whole point when he originally filed the countersuit on January 16th, 2025, was to make a demonstrative point, which was bullshit. You're a liar. Justin was saying, you're trying to ruin me for some entitled reason, I don't know what, but I will respond in an overwhelming manner that speaks to my emphatic innocence. Someone accuses me of something horrible, I am not going to take it lying down. I'm going to respond as bigly as I can. The point is, it's about exonerating his name, not winning a Brinks truck full of money. The motion for summary judgment more than accomplishes that, by the way. Okay, the judge did allow Blake Lively then to continue with a request to recover her attorney's fees, but that won't happen. She's not winning anything. All right, let's get current. On November 13th, which as of this recording, just last Thursday before the weekend, 2025, Baldoni's lawyers, the Wayfarer parties, submitted a motion for summary judgment aiming to dismiss Lively's SH and retaliation suit. Summary judgment means they're arguing that based on the evidence so far from discovery, there's no genuine issue of material fact and they should just win this without a trial. End it now. If Lyman grants it, okay, then it's done. Here's what Baldoni's lawyers have presented to Judge Lyman as facts gathered from discovery. Let's establish, they say, that Blake Lively chose to take a lead role in a sexually charged film with adult themes. The filing alleges that Blake Lively knowingly agreed to star in a movie containing explicit sexual content and heavy adult themes. It says she understood the role required emotionally intense and intimate scenes. Okay, we know what it's about. Lively worked as an independent contractor, okay? But no contract was ever formed. The filing alleges that although an offer letter existed, neither side ever signed the full long-form contract. It argues that this left her legally operating as an independent contractor rather than an employee, right? The defense says this distinction affects her ability to bring certain claims. Okay, perfect example. The guys in this control room right here, almost all of them. One guy works with and for me, and that is Steve. So Steve, right there's Steve. I'm waving. Steve, you're an employee of mine. You can come back. The other guys in there are contractors. They're subcontractors. We contract them to put on the show. Okay? So I can do whatever I want to you guys. From the outset, Blake sought increased control over the film. The filing alleges that from the beginning, and you know this, Lively took an active role in shaping the film, providing her own rewrite of the rooftop scene and urging that her version of that scene be used, later admitting that actually Ryan Reynolds wrote it. She shared detailed creative notes and worked, to persuade Justin to accept her most often horrible revisions. She also requested that Wayfarer abandon plans to film in Boston and instead relocate the entire production to New Jersey near her home. Now, that is a massive expense. And she asked that the start date and the schedule be changed to accommodate her other professional and personal commitments, like, the booze brand and the hair care products. Blake raised concerns about her physical appearance. Remember, the filing states that Lively, having, recently given birth, told Justin Baldoni and other people that she was worried about how she would look on camera and voiced, these same concerns to her agent. The filing notes that she openly acknowledged that the film required a certain sexualized imagery and discussed her appearance in frank terms with both Baldoni and her reps. According to the filing, Baldoni responded kindly when she raised these issues. Wayfair, the It Ends With Us team, Justin Baldoni, all of them took steps to create a safe set. The filing states clearly that Wayfair had industry standard anti-harassment and anti-discrimination policies, an HR department, mandatory anti-discrimination training led by an outside law firm, along with worker safety hotlines on the call sheets. We've all been through that, right? If you've worked at a large company before, the outside law firm comes in and just, gives you a whole class on what constitutes SH and everything like that. All right, the filing notes that Blake's contract prohibited any nudity or simulated sex without her written consent and a negotiated nudity rider, and that the It Ends With Us team hired an intimacy coordinator months before filming. And according to the filing, Lively declined an early meeting with the coordinator, who nonetheless reviewed the planned intimate content, discussed the boundaries with her later on, and prepared nudity riders for both of the actors. The filing also states that when Lively raised concerns about intimate scenes, Baldoni offered to keep the attention focused on his body. Okay, so if we're together like this, you can film Of course, that was a little selfish on his part because the guy's a beautiful body. When in doubt, and you need a cutaway of one of the naked bodies, make it mine. In the first phase of filming, Blake did not film any intimate scenes, but she voiced objections to certain behavior. The filing alleges that during early filming, before any intimate scenes that had occurred, Lively raised. The filing notes that filming ran from the filming ran from May 15th to June 14th, 2023. That's the beginning phase before shutting down for strikes. None of Blake's intimate scenes were rehearsed or filmed during this time. There were none. However, the filing states that all of the conduct that Blake now describes as creating a hostile work environment occurred before or during that early period. It asserts that her complaints largely revolve around incidents the defendants characterize as low-level or innocuous, including her claim that Baldoni described his genitalia during their first meeting, an interaction the filing says that she initiated, did not report at the time, and after which her husband sent Baldoni an effusive message. The filing also addresses her allegation of fat shaming, stating that it stemmed from a single private conversation where Justin Baldoni, concerned about a lift in an upcoming scene where he had to pick her up, discreetly asked a trainer about her weight due to his back issues. He's got a bad back. He said, how much are we talking about here? I want to make sure I can do it. I don't want to stunt double. The trainer later repeated the comment to Blake. The motion further responds to her claim that Baldoni added gratuitous sexual content by saying the scenes were adapted to match the explicit nature of the original book, reviewed with a female intimacy coordinator, of course, and revised or removed every time she objected, even though Blake herself rewrote other scenes to heighten their sexual tone. The filing also discusses her objections to isolated comments such as Baldoni using the word sexy regarding wardrobe, complimenting an outfit that she wore off-set, or referring to his own marital or sexual experiences, and characterizes these as sporadic remarks in the context of a film built around adult intimate themes requiring daily collaboration. Another incident she cited included the CEO of Wayfair, Jamie Heath, allegedly glancing at her upper body after she invited him into her trailer during makeup removal, though she said at the time, "I know you weren't trying to cop a look." By the way, if I walk into a trailer where someone who has just finished breastfeeding is sitting in a tank top and my eyes land on that for a second, if I linger and leer, that's a whole different thing. But that your eyes would hit that for a second, that's not an event of SH or anything creepy. The filing also mentions her objection to being shown an image from Jamie's wife's home birth, which she mistook for pornography, even though the content related to a major childbirth scene in the film they'd been discussing, was extremely relevant. Finally, the motion lists other complaints that Blake contracted COVID on the set, that Baldoni told other people she'd never seen pornography. If someone told me at the age of 38 that they'd never seen pornography, I would simply say, wow, You're an amazing person. That Justin shared a personal story about his own consent boundaries, a story he has publicly discussed before. That seems normal to me in a movie about domestic violence. And that she felt there was excessive hugging on set. You know, these what's that religion called that he's in? Banai, whatever. Too much hugging. The filing, and by the way, when those outside firms come in and give you the SH training sessions, they always say you have to identify a huggy, like there's the hugger, and that guy, well, are you a huggy? And the person says, oh yes, I'm a huggy, you can hug me. Oh my God, they're so stupid, these things. The filing presents these collectively as non-actionable and insufficient to constitute harassment or discrimination. And all these events. This may be the place, by the way, that Judge Lyman lets the thing go forward, but it amounts to nothing.